Right now, somewhere in the world, a baby just puts something in its mouth. A rock, a piece of dirt, a dead insect. Every parent panics, but 300,000 years ago, that was the only food safety system humans had. No labels, no doctors, no expiry dates. Just put it in your mouth, wake up tomorrow, probably safe. Don't wake up, someone else learned something useful. That system, one terrifying bite at a time, didn't just feed us, it built the human brain, changed the shape of our faces, separated us from every other creature on Earth. And the wildest part, every craving you feel today, that need for something sweet, something fatty, something warm, is your brain still running a program written 300,000 years ago. And it all started with one hungry human staring at something they'd never seen before and deciding, worth the risk.
Here's something that sounds obvious, but isn't. Food didn't always exist as a concept. Early humans didn't think about breakfast, didn't plan dinner, didn't have a favorite meal. They woke up every morning with one single biological alarm screaming inside their body. Find something, anything, now. Go back 2 to 3 million years. Our earliest ancestors ate exactly like the animals around them. Raw meat, not hunted, scavenged, waiting for a lion to finish its kill, then rushing in before the hyenas arrived. Raw roots pulled from hard ground with bare hands, berries, seeds, insects, bird eggs crushed and swallowed immediately. No fire, no tools, no preparation. Just find it, swallow it, survive another day. And here's what that actually meant for the human body. Digesting raw food is brutally expensive. Your body has to work enormously hard to break down uncooked meat and tough plant fiber, which means most of the calories consumed went straight back into digestion, almost nothing left over. Which is exactly why, for millions of years, the human brain stayed small. We were stuck, eating everything raw, burning everything on digestion, nothing left for thinking. Then, something happened. Something completely unplanned. Something that no human decided or invented or figured out. Something that just occurred.
Nobody planned the first cooked meal. Let's be absolutely clear about that. It was not a discovery. It was not an experiment. It was an accident. Somewhere between 1 and 2 million years ago, a group of early humans were near a natural fire. Lightning strike, volcanic heat, a wildfire moving across dry grass, and some food, meat, roots, something, either fell into the flames or was left too close. And instead of being destroyed, it smelled different. Something changed in the air around that fire, a smell that had never existed before in human experience. And something deep in the brain, even then, even that early, responded to it. Someone leaned closer, reached in, and ate it. Cooked food for the first time in human history. And here is what happened inside that body in the hours that followed. Cooked food is pre-digested by heat. Proteins already broken down, starches already converted, calories unlocked and available almost immediately. Where raw food demanded enormous energy from the body, cooked food gave energy back. More calories, less effort, massive surplus. And that surplus went directly to the brain. Harvard anthropologist Richard Wrangham spent decades researching this single moment. His conclusion was staggering. Cooking didn't just change what humans ate. Cooking is the reason the human brain exists in its current form. Without that one accident, near one fire, we would still have the brain of an ape. The campfire wasn't just warmth. It was the first cognitive upgrade in human history. But cooking didn't solve everything, because before you cook something, you have to find it. And the world 300,000 years ago was not a supermarket. It was a landscape full of things that looked edible and weren't. Berries that resembled safe ones but caused organ failure within hours. Roots that looked like food but contained compounds that stopped the heart. Mushrooms, certain fish, certain insects. A world full of things that wanted to be eaten and used that desire to destroy whatever tried. So how did early humans figure out what was safe? The answer is deeply uncomfortable. They ate things, and they died. Not randomly, but systematically. Over thousands of generations, across hundreds of different groups, people tried things. And the ones who survived remembered and taught. And the ones who didn't taught everyone else through their absence. Researchers call this cultural transmission of food knowledge, and it operated exactly like a living database, constantly updated, constantly refined. One person discovers a certain red berry causes violent illness. That information spreads to the entire group by nightfall. One person discovers that a certain root, when heated on coals, becomes sweet and safe. That knowledge gets passed to every child born into that group. The Hadza people of Tanzania still carry food knowledge in their oral traditions that dates back thousands of years. Which plants are safe in which season? Which animals carry parasites? Which parts of which creatures should never be consumed? Not from books, not from science, from thousands of years of someone trying it first. The classroom had no walls. The lessons cost lives. And the knowledge was more valuable than anything else the tribe owned.
Raw meat with bare hands has a problem. Human teeth are not carnivore teeth. We don't have long, curved fangs. We don't have powerful, crushing jaw muscles. Our teeth are flat, designed for grinding plants. Tearing into a fresh carcass with flat teeth and bare hands was slow, exhausting, and deeply inefficient. Then, around 2.5 million years ago, someone picked up a sharp rock, not to throw, not as a weapon, to cut. The first stone tools were not spears, they were kitchen equipment. Archaeologists have found stone flakes sharp enough to slice meat cleanly off bone, more efficiently than any predator's teeth. And then came the next discovery, the bone itself. Inside bones was something yellow, rich and dense, marrow, pure fat, pure calories, hidden inside something everyone else was throwing away. If you cracked the bone at exactly the right angle, with exactly the right rock, you could access it. Deliberately cracked bones found at Homo erectus sites date back nearly 2 million years. These weren't accidents. This was technique. Somebody figured out that the most calorie-dense food in the entire landscape was hidden inside the thing everyone else considered garbage. That is not animal behavior. That is intelligence. That is the human brain, for the very first time, solving a problem that strength alone could never solve. Here's something that will permanently change how you think about food. Taste is not about pleasure. Taste is a survival system. Every flavor your tongue detects was designed by millions of years of evolution to give your brain critical information about what you're consuming. Sweet means calories, energy, safe. Fat means dense fuel, rare and precious in a food-scarce world. Salt means minerals, things the body desperately needs. Bitter almost always means toxic, back away. Sour often means rotting, dangerous. This is why babies universally love sweet things and reject bitter ones. Nobody teaches them this. It is factory-installed survival software, running from the moment of birth. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Every food craving you experience, every time you reach for something sweet, something salty, something fatty, you are not making a free choice. You are responding to ancient programming, written when those foods were rare, precious, and genuinely life-saving. Sugar was not always everywhere. In a prehistoric landscape, finding something sweet meant finding energy when you were starving. Your brain flooded with dopamine, the same chemical released by certain drugs, the same rush, the same compulsion to consume more. Your sweet tooth is not a weakness. It is a survival mechanism so powerful it outlasted the environment it was designed for. About 295,000 years. For millions of years, eating was solitary. Find food, consume it immediately before something else takes it. No saving, no sharing, no eating together. Just find it, eat it, survive. Then, something changed. Around 400,000 years ago, archaeological evidence begins showing something new. Hearths. Not just fires, deliberately constructed, repeatedly used central fire sites with food remains around them. Not one person's meal. Multiple people, eating together. This sounds unremarkable. It was everything. Because the moment you eat together, food has to be divided. Decisions have to be made about who gets what. Social structures have to exist to govern those decisions. Language becomes necessary to negotiate them. The shared meal didn't come after civilization. The shared meal was the first act of civilization. Every dinner table in human history, every family gathering built around food, every celebration centered on eating together, traces directly back to exhausted hunters sitting around a fire, dividing meat, and figuring out for the very first time how to be a society. Tonight, you're going to eat something. You'll open a fridge or order something or cook something without thinking about it for even 1 second. You won't wonder if it's safe. You won't fear it might be the last meal for days. You won't feel the desperate relief of calories entering a body that hasn't eaten since yesterday. But somewhere deep in your brain, In systems so old you will never consciously reach them, every one of those ancient fears still runs. The pleasure you feel eating something sweet is the exact same chemical reward an ancient human felt finding fruit after 3 days of nothing. The comfort of a warm cooked meal is the same warmth that once meant safety, when the dark outside the fire was full of things that wanted to kill you. The instinct to share food with people you love is the same instinct that built the first human communities 400,000 years ago. You didn't inherit your ancestors' tools, you didn't inherit their fires or their shelters, but you inherited their hunger, their fear of running out, their joy at finding something good, their need to share it with the people beside them. Every meal you eat is 300,000 years old, and every time you sit down with someone and eat together, you are doing the most ancient human thing that exists. Not a tradition, not a ritual, a survival strategy that worked so well, it became the foundation of everything we are.